Bob. Who knows Bob? Can we give Bob some love? He's so shy. I'm gonna get you up here sometime. So this gentleman came to that event, and it was the first time that many of us had the opportunity to see him in person and get to know him. And he's so genuine, and he's so authentic. You know, I have to tell you, I'm a big, huge fan of people who are completely raw, transparent, and authentic. How many of you like that? So I asked him to share his story today, and it's going to be the first time that he's been on stage. So we're going to give him bucket loads of positive energy and love, yes? Okay, so he is married with 3 children. He has a daughter who's 20 and 2 boys who are 19 and 17. He has just started his Isagenix business journey, and he's currently a manager. How cool is that? I tell you that, I mean, that's what really gets going, so that's awesome. We're going to show you a couple of quick pictures. I'm going to show you his after, and he'll do some journey pictures for you. There he is. Stand up and let's hear it for Michael Liberman.
Liquid gold, right, people? So thank you, Lisa. I so much appreciate being here. I'm glad you guys are all here today. I have a question for you. How many people came to Isagenix to lose weight? How about because you had some physical ailments that were bothering you? Pretty much everybody is one of those 2 categories. Associates, have you ever had anybody tell you no? Right. That was me. That was me. A little over 18 and a half months ago, I had major back surgery. Had a fusion. 6 weeks after my surgery, a friend of mine introduced me to Isagenix. I said, thank you. But I like the food I eat, and I'm good right now. But I wasn't really good. Well, I don't know if any of you know what the recovery is from back surgery, but it's long and it's boring, and all you can really do is kind of walk. So I spent a lot of time, it was in the winter in Chicago, I spent a lot of time in the mall in the northern suburbs, just walking. The old people were lapping me. And I got to think to myself, I really don't like the way my life is. And so I didn't know how bad I felt, and then sometime in August I was getting massages from Tess Ryan. Tess, where are you? Woo. I was getting massages for part of my therapy, and Tess started talking to me about Isagenix again. And I started putting it together. It's the same thing my friend told me about. I'm like, well, here's 2 people, they don't know each other, and they're telling me this story. So I decided to listen. Thank God I listened. So I met with Tess and somebody in her upline, Veronica, she's here too, yay. And so on September 4th, with a hope and a prayer and not a whole lot of belief, I committed 100% to Isagenix. And I said, I have to do this, I have no other choice. There were days I would wake up, I had no idea how I was getting out of bed. There would be Saturday afternoons, my son would want to go play basketball at 3 in the afternoon, I'd be laying on the couch and like, leave me alone, I just need to take a nap. I was taking naps every day. Who's been there? You take naps, we have no energy. But September 4th, 4 days into my journey, I realized something was different. I had more energy. The first way I noticed I had more energy is I was standing up watching my DVR at 11 o'clock at night instead of laying in bed with my wife. I couldn't believe it. I'm standing there watching TV. First week, I lose 10.5 pounds. I couldn't believe it. I thought maybe I lost 5 pounds. I've tried all kinds of diets in my life. I did Oprah's OptiFast 25 years ago, liquid diet, no food. I'm picking up the scale, taking it all over the house. because I didn't believe it. I was finding new surfaces. It said 10.5 pounds. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Second week, I was down another 5 pounds, 15 pounds in 2 weeks. I didn't exercise for 12 weeks. I lost 36 pounds in 12 weeks with no exercise. It's the product. The first picture in the upper left-hand corner, that's me in 2008. I was 230 pounds. I'm 5'7". In the middle, that was my before picture when I started Isagenix on September 4th. 203 pounds. Oof. Those are my Isabody pictures that I took 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. But I want you guys to know it's a journey. It didn't happen overnight, but all you have to do is be committed. Yeah. So there's my before picture, my 30-day, my 60-day, and my 90-day. That's with no exercise. I had no want to exercise. I had no energy. Well, I had the energy, I just didn't have the want. But somewhere along the way, I had the want. And so that's what drove me. The energy, getting me to the gym. Those are 2 of my 3 kids. My family's my why. Oh wait, I gotta backtrack for one moment, I'm sorry. How many of you have never had an aha moment in your life? I had never had an aha moment in my life. But 2 weeks into Isagenix, I had my aha moment. For the first time in my life in all my dieting. Instead of an if, it became a when. Isagenix turned if into when. For the first time in my life, I actually believed I could hit my goals. I didn't even know what my goals were because I didn't believe I could hit them, and all of a sudden I had to start creating new goals. So that was my aha moment for the first time in my life. And so if there's anybody out here who doesn't believe that it's real, or doesn't believe that it can happen, especially ones that are just starting out, just as a my reminder would say, trust the process, because it works. We as parents, we try to lead by example for our kids. It's a lot easier, it's a lot harder than it is. It's usually do as I say, not as I do. And I never told my kids anything about getting in shape, getting healthy, blah, blah, blah. That's my daughter, Jennifer. She's 20 years old in college. She lost 24 pounds in 3 months. She's now signing people up, her friends, through Facebook and her roommates. She's building her business in college, helping change lives. That's my 17-year-old son, Ryan. That first picture, that was November. He's a swimmer and a water polo player in high school. He had to get in a Speedo looking like that. 4 months later, he's a varsity water polo player, coming off the bench, the first guy. I've changed his life. He doesn't have to live the life I lived. For 52 years, I know what it's like. Some of us know what that's like. So that's my greatest transformation, the one I'm most proud of, is him, because I know he doesn't have to go through what I went through. And I have a third son, or third child, and he's not up there because he wasn't a believer. He was no, 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 defiant no. He's 6'2", 260 pounds. He was a swimmer and a water polo player, and then went off to college. Remember that, that freshman 15? His was the freshman 40. Wow. He started this past Monday. He's on day 6. So now I'm changing my, oh my boy. Oh my God, my kids are, oh no. My kids are my life. My mom's doing it too. She's 80 years old. So it's really become my passion. I didn't go in this to do the business. I was just hoping. But when I posted my 30-day pictures on Facebook, people were like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm taking this stuff." So I contacted my upline, started signing people up. I got my little Isagenix debit card. There's money on it. I'm like, "Whoa, this is pretty good." So at that point, I decided, because of how I felt, like it was said earlier, Isagenix is a gift. And I got to the point where I had to share this gift. And so I made a decision at that point that I was going to go as hard as I could for the rest of my life, because I was going to be a product of the product, and I was going to have to be able to talk the talk if I wanted to walk the walk. And so that's what I've committed. That's what I get up every day. I get up every day trying to share my story as many times as I can, hoping somebody will listen. We all know that a lot of times they don't listen, but all we can do is share, and so that's what I do every single day. And I have a real passion for kids, because I've seen what happened to my son. His grades went through the roof, his ACT score went through the roof. He's changed his future because he got healthy and was able to perform in the classroom. It's not just for adults, thank you. It's not just for adults, it's for anybody. So I try to help kids more than adults, because kids don't know. Adults, they're a little bit smarter, they can try and make their own decision. Kids don't know. So this is what I do. This is my passion, and if I've touched one person today, if I've affected one life today, then I've done my job. Thank you for coming.
As Jim Cooper would say, goose